Shalom, 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 Yasha Allah. This your boy, Brother Shem wa Allah. Back at you with another quick edifying video. Today's lesson is going to be called Pushing the Agenda. Pushing the Agenda. All right. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Call Halal Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Rawchaa, Qadash. That's all praises to the Heavenly Father, whose name is Yahawah, and his only begotten Son's name, who you ignorantly call Jesus, whose name is Yahawashi. All right, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rawchaa Qadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who have ruled well through the Spirit and have fed and edified the sheep in these last days, and has pushed this gospel and this truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom. Another mighty shalom to all you Akim out there laboring on the highways and on the hedges and on the unicorn, which is this internet, pushing this 100% doctrine, this 100% truth to the four corners of the earth in these last days. A mighty shalom to you all as well. Like I said, today's lesson is going to be called Pushing the Agenda. All right. And I just kind of looked up what that meant. Pushing the agenda means to actively promote a specific set of goals, beliefs, or a plan of action. Okay. It says it involves strategically working to make your desired outcome happen. All right. So this is an article from Money Digest. And there's 8 unexpected ways America's penny shortage might affect you. All right, but I'm actually gonna just focus on one. All right, so it says the American penny is the most circulated coin denomination in U.S. history, although I don't even know how to say that word. Lincoln design has enjoyed the longest production timeline. The penny has undergone various iterations throughout history. It says since the first U.S. penny, known as the chain cent, was produced in 1793, the U.S. mint has circulated an estimated 300 billion pennies. Despite this ubiquitous, usage, it says an impressive mintage. The penny has been a hot button topic among economists and politicians seeking to rein in perceived waste in the federal budget. For decades, a debate has raged over the fiscal visibility of penny. It says aside from the nickel, the U.S. penny is the only coin that costs more to produce than it is worth. It says it cost the government 3.7 cents to produce a single penny. It says, although the coin availability has fluctuated throughout history, one of the more prominent shortages occurred in the aftermath of the pandemic era lockdowns. In this case, the issue wasn't the lack of available coins, but rather a dearth of public spending. Instead of bouncing between hands as coins do in a healthy economy, it said they sat idle. All right. This C19 specific coin shortage has collided with Trump's administration's outright cancellation of the penny under the cost-saving nose of the Department of Government Efficiency. President Nero cited that the denomination's wasteful production and decreased that the Treasury cease penny minting on November 12, 2025. The U.S. Mint issued its final penny, putting an end to the denomination's 232-year run. Okay. But what I wanted to get, all right, the main focus of the 8 ways where it says it was going to affect you. It says the push to use credit card or debit cards. Okay. So it says the prospect of playing rounding roulette isn't the only unexpected way the penny shortage could affect everyday transactions. Consumers might also see a push to use credit cards, debit cards, or other forms of digital payment. Okay, that's what I wanted to get to. All right. Or other forms of digital payment. It says a world without the penny doesn't affect virtual transactions. Service providers that are low on pennies but don't want to mess with the rounding headache can encourage patrons to pay with cash alternatives. Some well-known brands such as Burger King and Kroger are requesting digital payments when customers cannot provide exact change, although many locations are committed to providing pennies if available. It says, in a roundabout way, the impacting penny shortfall could accelerate the ready rapid pace of digital payment preference among Americans in 2024. Only 14% of transactions were settled in cash. According to the Federal Reserve Bank's in 2025 Diary of Consumer Payment Choice, debit and credit cards accounted for more than double the amount of individual cash payments at 30% and 35% of total transactions, respectively. At that same time, the rate of the monthly mobile transactions nearly tripled between 2018 and 2024, jumping from 4 payments a month to 11. Digital payments are being embraced wholesale. It says, but the dollar isn't getting left behind entirely. It says the diary survey also revealed that about 9 out of every 10 Americans plan to pay with physical dollars or use cash as a wealth preserve in the future. All right. It says the confluence of penny pinching retailers and digital leaning Slovakia consumers appears to be directing the economy toward a virtual future, even as cash remaining grip on daily spending habits drags on the transition. Planning to increase your plastic usage during the penny shortage, you might want to brush up whether it's cheaper to use a credit or debit for everyday purchase. All right. And ultimately, it's going to be that form of payment. But you see, all right, that a lot of people now, and I don't know, where they're getting the statistics from, because there's a lot of majority of people I see usually are using, digital. All right. People don't really carry a lot of cash, on their persons anymore. Right. A lot of it is usually digital, and they're making it so convenient and easy, even now. All right. You can use your phone to tap. All right. You take your card and you tap it. All right, but they're getting you ready, all right, for their agenda, okay, which is to go digital, and then ultimately from that digital, all right, to the RFID CHIP, all right, or Revelation 13:16, okay. So they're still continuing to push on the agenda, all right, and they're of course they always have their reasons for why they're doing it. All right, so they say that the penny is, it takes 3 cents, to make a penny. All right, and I believe they were talking about how it was with the nickel is next. Okay, it says the nickel being put on the chopping block next. It says the example, it says the nickel is the most egregious example of this purported wasteful spending, costing the federal government 13.8 cents per coin to produce. Okay, so they're going to use, the reasoning of, right, it's not cost efficient. All right, something that's supposed to be worth 5 cents is actually costing us 13 cents. Right, the penny was costing 3 cents. All right, so we need to, to cut the spending. All right, but it's all, like I say, that's all part of their agenda, because ultimately They want to get you, you know, uh, ready for rapid pace of digital payment. All right, that's ultimately what they want you to do. All right, now you go, to a lot of these stores. What do they have? They have the self checkouts. And before, when the self checkouts first came out, they had the coins, they had the cash, and now most of them don't even take cash anymore. All right, it's all digital, right? Because they're pushing you, all right, towards that agenda of what they're trying to do, which is ultimately to go digital. Okay, ultimately to go digital, and then ultimately from that digital payment, all right, to the implementation of Revelation 13:16. Okay, and this is all part of this devil's agenda. All right, and ultimately that agenda is to what? To track you, to know everything, all your whereabouts, your payments, where you've been, the whole nine. Okay, so he's gonna push his agenda on you. All right, slowly but surely, but you see it's coming. All right, what is Habakkuk said? Though it tarry, wait for it. All right, it shall surely come. Okay, but this devil, he wants to know any and everything about you. All right, so he's doing these different things. All right, and a lot of times with the cash, it's hard to keep up with it. Okay, but with digital, you can track every movement, every shift of money, through the digital. All right, and that's ultimately they want to push that, because now when they go and push and mandate the RFID CHIP, all right, which is the mark, all right, Revelation 13:16. Okay, this is Second Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse number 3. It says, "Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition." All right, Esau Edom. Okay, and he's being revealed, and so is his agenda. Okay, what does that say? In the book of Obadiah, it says, verse 6, it says, "How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up?" All right, it's being revealed. Okay, the Spirit is revealing, this devil and his whole agenda. All right, and his agenda ultimately is to try to enslave everybody. All right, and have control over everybody. All right, throughout the world. Okay, Second Thessalonians chapter 2, verse and number 4. It says, "Who opposeth and exalteth himself above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High." Okay, because he, and we're talking about these top elite, banking families. All right, the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and Oppenheimers, all these wealthy top banking families. All right, they want to have full power over everybody. All right, they want to be like the Most High. Okay, and this implementation of the MARK Salakia, is part of their agenda. All right, to have full control over everybody. All right, when we go to Revelation, right, 13, and let's go to get to the point, 16. It says, "And he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark, all right, in their right hand or in their foreheads." Okay, it says, "And that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Okay? And this mark, all right, is a physical thing. Okay? And we go through it all the time, right? Karagma. Let's get it.
Strong's G 5480. Charagma. Charagma.
Right. Karagma. All right. Stamp, imprint, and mark. The mark branded upon thing, carved, sculptured, graven work. All right. That's a physical thing. Okay. Which is the RFID seal. Okay. So ultimately, as they push this agenda, all right, they've got rid of the penny. They stopped the production of the penny. All right. But ultimately they want to push towards digital, because pushing towards digital, now you have to, once everything goes digital, then now you push for the mark. Okay. And that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark. Okay. So this is, continuation of the agenda. All right. And as they do the steps, right, they're going to say, well, hell, we got rid of the penny. Let's get rid of the nickel. Okay, well, we get rid of the nickel. Might as well get rid of the dime. Oh, let's get rid of the dollar. You know what? Let's get rid of all the cash. Let's just do digital. Right? It's easier. All right. It's more convenient. All right. And now that convenience goes into what? All right. It goes into, a small, RFID hip. Oh yeah, and guess what? We could add your identification in there. All right, we can make that digital. Oh yeah, we could put all your health records on there. All right, yeah. Oh, we can track you. Oh, you guess what? We'll put your keys on there. We're gonna make this thing so convenient. All right, that's what they're gonna push. All right, at the end of the day. All right, that's the agenda that's coming. All right, and they're just using the stoppage and saying, oh, we're spending too much on this, so we're getting rid of that. And they're just slowly pulling things away from everybody, and they're leading people down that narrow path, which is the karagma. All right, that's where this stuff is leading to. Ultimately, it's leading to the karagma. All right, which is the RFID hip. All right, so the agenda, all right, to get rid of cash, that's what it's about. Okay, so I just wanted to do this lesson. Lord's will, this is edifying. All right, with that, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory. I want to say, Kohala Yahawah, Bahasham, Yahawashi, Bahasham, Qadash. Peace and blessings to the elect of the 12 tribes scattered abroad, a mighty shalom to the 144,000 men. Double honors to the apostles and elders of GMS who ruled well through the Spirit. Another mighty shalom to the rest of the elect in the household of faith. Continue to watch. All right. The scriptures say, watch therefore and pray always that ye may be accounted worthy to escape all these things. All right. Luke 21. Okay. No, this stuff is coming. It's coming down the pipeline. All right. They had they talked about in June or July, of this year, that they were, pushing towards the digital. Okay. And you see, they've already, by the end of the year, they've already got rid of the penny. Okay. More to come. All right. It's going to come sooner than later. All right. So with that, we say a ball, and shalom.